Hello, students. Welcome to SAM classes. The time is less and it is short, and we're doing a crash on vector algebra. So, we'll try to wrap it up in a very fast manner, but without leaving the basics and going to the advanced part. So, we'll teach you each and everything what is required for the KCT vector algebra. Now, vector algebra almost is linked with 3D geometry, and a lot of concepts keeps repeating in the 3D geometry part, and you need to know it. It's a very simple chapter, and once you understand the chapter, you can solve the questions very easily. It can be divided into few sections. First thing, very important to understand is direction ratio and direction cosine. So one of the very important thing, if you're learning this chapter, if you're understanding this chapter, is you need to have an understanding of what is the direction ratio and what is the direction cosine. Next is, after this we have few addition and subtraction theorems like triangle law, parallelogram law. These all laws we have. Okay. Once we are done with this, we'll do two more important stuff: dot product and cross product. So very important, and by physics point of view we have already seen where we use dot product and where we use cross product, and then along with that we have the projection formula. Okay, and in between this we have some section formula where the most important stuff will be the midpoint stuff. Okay, so midpoint theorem where the ratio is 1:1, that is important. So you can see around 4 to 5 sections are there. Very important, very simple. We'll see in this concept video what are this stuff, how to use the formula. We haven't gone in depth for the proof because proof is not there for the KCT. So we're just giving you the basic understanding so that if the question comes very simple. If the question comes a bit difficult also, complicated also, if you have a clear understanding, you can understand and you can solve it the question. Okay, so very important. Let's start the chapter. First, what is a vector quantity? So the moment somebody says this is a vector, okay, or this quantity is a vector quantity, what we understand that it has magnitude that we already know, but it has direction also. Okay, and a bit the sound is gone, so making a lot of videos in like very small span. So do concentrate on the content rather than the audio. Now, so we denote the vector by a small vector with an arrow or a big vector AB like with an arrow. Okay, these are the two ways we denote it. Magnitude of any vector is given by just mod. I think so you all, everybody knows all this stuff, but still just recapping it fast. Okay, the magnitude of, here we have taken an OP vector. Okay, so this vector R is given by, let's say my vector R vector is xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. So the magnitude is nothing but root under of x square plus y square plus z square. It's pretty simple, just drop perpendiculars, you will be able to understand. But yeah, here again we are not worried about the proof. Okay, now we have already told you the position vector of point P with respect to O means if I want to find the position of P with respect to O, it means what? Along x axis I have went x, along y I have went y, and along z, if I show it, I went z. Okay, this. So this means that x I cap, in I cap direction I went x meters, or let's say x units. Along j cap I went y units, and along z cap k cap I went z units. Okay, so that is the basically meaning of a point in xyz. Means along the x-axis the coordinates are x, y-axis y, and z-axis z. Okay, so pretty simple as it is. Now coming to the main concept, direction ratio and direction cosines. Okay, what is basically a direction ratio and what is basically a direction cosine? The concepts are very simple. Okay, don't complicate it. Let me draw it and explain you. Let's say we have drawn a vector, or we have just drawn one line or a vector. So this OP is a vector, let's say R vector. Now it is making some angles with positive x-axis, with positive y, and some with positive z. These angles, let's say with positive x, what is it making? Let it be alpha. Okay, with positive y, what is it making? Okay, it's getting, we'll do it here. Let's say with a small change of color of pen. So let's say if we have like this, okay, and we have a vector like this, so it is making with y-axis, let's say beta, with x-axis, let's say alpha, and with z-axis, let's say gamma. So these angles are known as direction angles. What are these angles known as? Direction angles. Okay, and cos of these direction angles, cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma, are direction cosines. So what basically is a direction cosine? See, the positive angles that this vector is making with x, y, z are known as direction angles, and the cosine means the cos value of those angles is known as the direction cosines. The cos value of these angles are known as the direction cosines. Okay, clear? Now we have given a name for that. Cos alpha is written by L. We denote it. Cos beta is given by M, and cos gamma is given by N. So cos L is equal to cos alpha, M is equal to cos beta, and N is equal to cos gamma. These angles alpha, beta, gamma range from 0 to 180 degree. Okay, so very simple. Whenever we have a vector, this vector is making some angle. Let's say alpha angle with the x-axis, beta angle with the y-axis, and gamma angle with the z-axis. The cosine of these angles are the direction cosines. Now, what about the direction ratio, sir? We'll see about that. Let's say we have a vector. A vector is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Correct? Now, magnitude of this vector is given by OP vector, and that is equal to magnitude of R, and that is equal to, let's say, just R. Okay, we are denoting the magnitude by R. Now, if you want to know the scalar component of the vector are nothing but its direction ratio, and it represents the projection along the respective axis. What do you mean by that? Nothing. Very simple. Understand. Basically, this x, what does it means? This x is nothing but the projection of this vector along x-axis. The projection of OP vector along x. So y is nothing but the projection of this OP vector along, or this is the projection only, no? How much is this part? It's the projection of this vector along y-axis. This is the projection of this vector along z-axis. Projection of this vector along what? X-axis. That's it. So whenever they give you a vector, don't go in a complicated way. Let's say they gave me a vector. Let's say I have a vector, a vector equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k. I got this vector. What is direction ratio? Directly you can write direction ratio is 2, 3, 4. That's it. Clear? What about direction cosine? So direction cosines, the very easy way, once you know the direction ratio, is divide by the magnitude. What do you have to do? Divide by the magnitude. Okay, we'll show it in the later section. So we know cos alpha, if you draw this triangle also, let's say for this triangle, this is your mod of R, and this is your y. Okay, just for one I'm showing, this is cos, this is beta. So cos of beta will be what? Base by hypotenuse. So y by R. So y is equal to what? R cos beta. Correct? That only we have shown here for all. Okay. So done. So cos alpha can also be written as L, and L is equal to what? X by root under of x square plus y square plus z square. That is basically the magnitude. This is what? The magnitude of the vector. Correct? Now, one very important, a lot of questions will be solved by this. See, value of cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma is always 1. Means L square plus M square plus N square is always 1. So you don't have to worry about anything. Most of the question will solve by this. These all things we won't be needing it in KCT for solving part. Okay. For PU definitely will be needing, but understand it. Most of the questions will be solving by this. Okay. Let's take an example. Let's say we have taken a vector that is equal to 3i plus 2j plus 4k. What will be the direction ratio first? Directly. dr is nothing but the scalar part. These 3, 2, 4. So these are the direction ratio. What about direction cosine? Find the magnitude. So magnitude of this vector is what? Root under of x square plus y square plus z square. That is equal to 3 square plus 2 square plus 4 square. That we got is as 9 plus 16 plus 4, that is root 29. So divide direction ratio by the magnitude. Okay. By the magnitude of the vector, you will get the direction cosine. That's it. Clear? Next, the big thing is unit vector. What is unit vector? A vector whose magnitude is unity. So magnitude is 1. So basically what it is used for? Direction, student. Very important. Okay. It is basically used to point direction. We already know along x-axis, let's say this is my x-axis. Along x-axis, 1 unit, which shows the direction I cap. Along y-axis, j cap. And along, let's say, z-axis, k cap. So these are basically unit vectors along x, y, and z axis. They have magnitude 1, but they're basically used for showing the direction. Clear? So any vector, it has two things. One unit vector, that is the direction, and one its magnitude. So a unit vector can be written as vector divided by magnitude. Correct? Done. Very important, this one also. So we have taken a vector xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Okay. So what will be the unit vector? take that vector divided by its magnitude plus zk divided by root under of x square plus y square plus z square. Done. So this is x. What you can write? We can write separately x by root under of this whole thing plus y by root under of this whole thing plus z by root under of this whole thing. Correct? Simple. So what you'll get? See, you just now you wrote x by the magnitude. Whole magnitude is what? The direction cosines LMN. We got it. So that can also be written as cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma. Correct? And that can also be written as x by magnitude of a vector plus y by magnitude of a vector plus z by magnitude of a. So for a unit vector, very important, direction ratio is equal to what? Direction cosine. Direction ratio is equal to what? Direction cosine. For a unit vector, what happens? Direction ratio and direction cosines are same thing. Okay. So now if any vector is given, a vector is equal to xi plus yj plus zk, what will be the direction ratio? Direction ratio is simple, x, y and z, and direction cosines is given this whole thing divided by the magnitude of a, this whole thing divided by the magnitude of a, this whole thing divided by the magnitude of a. That's it. Clear? Now coming to the part addition of vectors. Coming to the part of addition of vectors. Now in addition of vectors, we have two things, one triangle law, one parallelogram law. What does the triangle law says? The sum of three vectors representing the three sides of a triangle, if you take in a single order, it will give you 0. Basically what is it saying is, I took the order. Now a lot of students, they don't understand the order. See, I started from here, ended here. Again where it ended, I started from there, again ended here. Again from where it ended, started from there and ended here. So this is like in order. So AB vector plus BC vector plus CA vector is equal to 0. Now the moment I send CA vector, that's it will be what? Minus of CA vector. And minus of CA vector I can interchange to is equal to what? AC vector. So what we got? AB vector plus BC vector is equal to what? Change of order, AC vector, the third side. So we can also write it like this is a sum of, what do you say, in a triangle, if the two sides are given in the same order, the third side in opposite order gives the resultant of the two vectors. That's it. Parallelogram law, same thing. Instead of triangle, it was like A, see vectors we can displace, we can put B here. Then the resultant is given by this one. Or what you can do, this B, we can displace it here. So if you represent two vectors by two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the diagonal gives the resultant. That's it. Okay. So both, I think so, these all you have done in your PU part or CBSE part, whichever you are doing. So this is like very simple. I'm just explaining it so that you understand and you can do. For JEE and all, we have like hexagon and all that, and we need to understand more in depth. So don't worry about that. Once we'll take care of the JEE part, we'll do that. For the KCT, this much is enough. Now, here are some things like if two vectors are given, let's say A vector equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k, and my B vector is equal to 3i plus 4j plus 5k. So if I add A vector plus B vector, what will happen? I cap and I cap component will be added, so 5i cap. 3j and 4j, this will be, okay, 4j plus 5k. So 3 plus 4, 7j, plus 4 plus 5, 9k, that's it, done. Clear? So addition, just individual. I components, j components separately, and k you added. Same thing, subtraction. If they say two vectors equal, I component will be there equal to their I, j will be equal to their j, or k will be equal to their k. Okay. So don't, a lot of times what happens, let's say A vector they have given us 2i plus 3j plus 4k, and this it is equal to B vector, that is equal to xi plus yj plus 4k. So what you can say, x will be equal to 2, don't interchange, y will be equal to 3. This one will be equal to this one, and the first one will be equal to the first one. Okay, very simple. If I multiply the whole vector, let's say I have a vector A is equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k. Now the moment we multiply 2a cap, 2a vector, 2 times of a vector means everything is multiplied with 2. So 4i cap plus 6j cap plus 8k cap. Okay. Now, the addition of vectors and multiplication of vector by scalar together gives few laws, distributive laws. That is also very simple. Let's say we have 2 of a vector plus 3 of again a vector. So directly with what you can write, 2 plus 3, and we can take a vector common. So that is basically 5a vector. That's simple. Same thing if you have 2 and 3a vector, that is basically you multiply these two constants, so 6 times of a vector. Clear? If we have 2 times of a vector plus b vector, you can write it as 2a vector plus 2b vector. Very simple. Clear? Next is, whenever here one of the most important line that you need to understand is, whenever we say that two vectors are collinear, it means that a vector is equal to lambda times of b vector. That's it. Whenever we say that two vectors are collinear, it means that a vector is some scalar multiple of another vector. That's it. Nothing more than that. Okay. Means whenever we say that we have a vector, let's say a vector equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k. And I say that b vector is equal to 4i plus 6j plus 8k. Now a and b vector are collinear. It means a vector is equal to some scalar quantity into b vector. Here in this case, you'll see it is double of that. It can be minus of 2 also, but I'm just showing it. Okay, that's it. Now let's understand what happens when we join two vectors. Okay, so or by 2 points we are forming a vector joining 2 points a and b. Okay, so we already have a position vector a, we already have a position vector b. So if I take it like this, AB vector is equal to what? Or we can take it like this, very simple triangle law. OA vector plus AB vector, see two taken in order, is equal to OB vector, correct? OA vector plus AB vector, correct? So can I write AB vector, the vector formed by joining 2 points, is equal to what? Position vector of B minus position vector of A, that's it. So position vector of B minus position vector of, say, the x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 plus z2 minus z1. So direction ratio will be what? These only. And the direction cosine, just divide by the magnitude of AB vector. That's it. Clear? And what is AB vector magnitude? Is root under of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. That's it. Nothing more than that. Very simple. Okay. Clear? Let's take a short, simple example. So we have an example, let's say, 1 second, student. So we'll explain by this only example. Let's say we have taken 2 points. One point is 2, 3, 4 vector formed, and the other point is 4, 5, 6. So vector which is formed by these 2 points. Okay. So we need to find AB vector. So AB vector will be nothing but, if it is my, this is my A vector, OA vector coordinates, and this is OB coordinates. So what I can write, 4 minus 2 I cap plus 5 minus 3 j cap plus 6 minus 4 k cap. That's it. So my vector will be 2 I cap plus 2 j cap plus 2 k cap. That's it. So direction ratios will be 2 to 2, and direction cosines will be 2 divided by root under of 2 square plus 2 square plus 2 square. So what will be the value? 2 square is 4, 4, 4, 12. So 2 by root 12. Correct. That's it, the answer. Clear? Now let's talk about section formula. Section formula, we have just given you a bit of theory to understand what is it and the formula that we'll be using it. So we have a PQ vector, okay, and this R vector is dividing it in the ratio of m is to n. So in that case, what will be the position vector R? That is given by the formula. What do you do? Cross multiply MB vector plus NA vector by m plus n. That's it. And this is for internal division. Okay, internal division means, see, this is PQ, R is cutting it internally. External will show you. Now here in this case, see, PQ is this one, R is cutting outside of it. Okay, this whole thing is m and this whole thing is n. So in that case, what happens? The formula almost remains same. Again, same thing, cross multiply MB minus, only minus comes in the case of external, by m minus n. That's it. Okay, now very important, what they will give you in the KCT exam is midpoint form. Okay, so what they'll do, the ratio is, let's say, m is equal to n equal to, that is equal to 1:1. So in that case, what will happen? It will be a vector plus b vector by 2. That's it. Okay, they'll tell you to find the diagonals and all. What you say, we'll see in the PYQ section how to solve them in just less than 30 seconds. How to apply, the application of section formula is important. Okay, application of this part is important. Okay. Now one thing, direction ratio and direction cosines, minimum two questions, like almost around out of like what 15-20 questions, 3 to 4 questions are like always from direction cosines, like from past 2014 to 2020. So very simple concept, go through it thoroughly, nothing much is there. Section formula also very simple. Now let's see the most important part, these two part, scalar and the dot product. Okay, so scalar product we already know, by the word only we can understand. We're doing scalar product of two vector. So a vector dot b vector is nothing but mod of a into mod of b into cos theta. Okay, so a vector dot b vector is very simple. Okay, now few properties we need to know and we need to understand. Okay, so let's see. First thing is that it gives me a real number. See, a dot b is a real number, very important, because a lot of questions we can just solve it by seeing this, by using this concept. If I'm doing the dot product of two vectors, I'll get a real number. What I'll get? Not a vector. I'll get a real number, not a vector. Okay, this is one important point. Now, this point very important mark for KCT. Whenever A and B are perpendicular, whenever A and B are perpendicular, A dot B is equal to 0. So to test whether two vectors are perpendicular or not, we use this concept. Two vectors are perpendicular. What we use, if they are perpendicular, A vector dot B vector equal to 0. We use this concept. Okay, done. Why? Cos 90 is 0. If theta is 0 between them, means two vectors are parallel. If theta is 0, then what will happen? A vector dot B vector equal to mod of A into mod of B. That's simple. Because cos 0 is what? 1. That's it. Cos 0 degree is what? 1. Okay. Now, if they are equal, both are A vector dot A vector. So in that case, it is what? Mod A square. Correct. This also will be using a lot. And it is important. Okay. Next, if the angle between them is 180 degree, we have just taken different cases. One is like this, the other is like this. A vector, B vector. So we know cos 180 is what? Negative. Cos 180 is what? Minus 1. So in that case, A vector dot B vector is equal to what? Mod of A, mod of B into cos 180 is what? Minus 1. So minus times of this whole thing. Correct? Done. So these properties are very important. Okay. Now this one we already know. I dot I, if I do, just now I did, it's what? Mod of I into mod of I into cos of 0 degree, and cos 0 degree is what? 1. This is already 1, 1 and 1, so basically 1. So I dot I, j dot j, k dot k is 1, and if these two are perpendicular, I, j, we know the all three are perpendicular to each other. This is I, let's say j, the k, they're perpendicular to each other. Okay, so in that case there will be 0. Okay, so that's why when we do a dot product, let's say I have a vector 2i plus 3j plus 4k, and b I have like 3i plus 2j plus 4k, 2j plus 4k. If I do a vector dot b vector, it's basically just a multiply. 2 into 3, 6, plus 3 into 2, 6, plus 4 into 4, 16. So 16 plus 12 is 28. So we got a real number. Okay, very simple. I dot I will multiply, I dot j cancelled, and I dot k cancelled. J dot j will multiply because j dot k 90 degree, j dot I 90 degree. Done. So same way k dot k will do, k dot I and k dot j will be 0. Now, a lot of times we have to find the angle between two vectors. Okay, let's say the angle. So what we can use, we already know a vector dot b vector is equal to mod of a, mod of b into cos theta. So from here we can find cos theta is equal to a vector dot b vector divided by the magnitude part. So very important, this formula also we use it. Okay. Now they are commutative. A dot b and b dot a, same thing. Whether you multiply, because see, just now I showed 2 and 3. Whether you multiply like this or you multiply like this, 2.3 or 3.2, same thing. Okay. So next, distributive property, we have a vector A and dot, and then two vectors are in plus position. So what we can do, A vector dot B plus A vector dot C. Important, we'll use it somewhere. Okay. Next, this property, when we multiply and then do dot vector, no changes there. Okay. Lambda times of A vector, and do a dot product with B, that is same as lambda times of A vector dot B vector, and that is also same as A vector dot lambda times of B vector. So same, you can take an example. Let's say we have 2A vector dot B vector It can also be written as 2 of a vector dot b vector, 2 of b vector dot a vector. Okay, so we can write all this. Next, cross product. Okay, very, very, very important. Okay, this is not the cross, this is the projection formula. Now, projection is basically what, student? Understand. Let's say this diagram. The first one. This is a line and this is a vector. Projection means its shadow over this line. Okay, its shadow this part over this line. Okay, so this is mean by the literal meaning of projection. So projection of a vector on this line L is nothing but what? Projection of a vector, and let's say on the other vector is this line is b vector. Okay, on this b vector is given by a vector dot b cap. Means you have taken the a vector but in the direction of b cap. That can also be written as a vector dot b cap can is what? What is b unit vector? B vector by mod of b. So that is equal to a vector dot b vector divided by mod of b. Correct. So projection of any one vector, like let's say a vector on, let's say p vector, is nothing but take that vector and the other vector you take the what? Unit vector. First vector dot with the unit vector. That's it. What is projection? Projection of first vector with the second is first vector. You take the vector dot with second vector. What is it? You take the unit of that vector. That's it. Clear, everybody? Now, if theta is 0, projection will be what? Same vector itself only. If theta is equal to pi, it will be BA. If I am doing a projection, so it will be just opposite. Okay. Now, if it is 90 degree, so for this vector, does it has any projection? No, 0. Clear? For a vector which is 90 degree, let's say A vector, B vector, what is the projection? 0 vector. Clear? So 4 points, very important. Projection of any vector or other vector. I have taken different angles also. So you just need to understand this formula. Will be using it. Projection of, what are you using? Projection of what do you say? One vector. Let's say here A vector on B vector is equal to. You take the A vector as it is, do the dot product, and take for the second vector just the unit vector. That's it. Okay. So done. Now same thing, and let's say we have taken an example. A vector is equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k. Correct. So what is cos alpha? Cos alpha is equal to nothing but the L value, 2 by root under of 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square. Correct. And that is equal to 2 by root under of 4 plus 16, 20, 20 plus 9, 29. Correct. So this is the cos alpha value. That's it. So I can write a vector, any vector that I have already shown in the DC and DR. A vector is equal to what? Cos alpha of I cap plus cos beta of j cap plus cos gamma of k cap. Okay. Now, next is the cross product. Now, cross product, understand, student, it's very simple. We have two vectors. Let's say you have taken one vector as this one and the other vector as this one. So just imagine your hand. Okay, you have taken the what do you say, straight fingers showing the direction. Okay, four fingers as one of the vector, and then you are curling your hand in the direction of the other vector. So let's say your palm this way is giving you one direction, and you're curling it up in the other vector's direction. So what will happen when you do? The thumb in this case will point in the what? Direction of the vector which is perpendicular to both of them. Okay, and that is the square product of two vectors. So we have, let's say, a vector. This is our a vector, and I'm curling it to what is a b vector. So when I curl it like that, then or we can take it like this: a vector, curl it around b vector. So perpendicular to that, you'll get a vector c, which is the cross product by of a and b vector. Okay, that's simple. So a vector dot cross b vector is what? Mod of a, mod of b into sine theta. And see, this n cap makes it what? A vector quantity. What it makes? Vector quantity. So we have already done in physics also, correct? Torque is equal to what? R cross F, radius into force perpendicular, correct? Force perpendicular. So we all know that. So see, what we have done is we have taken a vector. When we are doing cross, so we are basically curling our hand or the right hand towards a B. So, and we are getting a third vector on top, that is C. Okay. So if you do the opposite curl, if you do B cross A, what will happen? It will be in the downward direction. So here, very important, it is not commutative. A vector cross B vector is not equal to B vector cross A vector. Okay, not equal. Very important. Now this is also important. If A vector or B vector, anyone is zero, then theta in that case is not defined. Clear? No. So A vector cross B vector is a vector. That's why it's called a vector product or a cross product. Okay. Now A vector cross B vector is zero only if A and B are parallel to each other. Only if A and B they are parallel to each other. In that case, the angle theta is zero. That is a zero vector. Okay. Clear? Very important. Now, if I do A vector cross A vector, I'll get zero. A vector cross minus A, again I'll get zero in both the cases. Okay. If it is 90 degree, it will be very easy because A vector cross B vector equal to mod of A mod of B into sine 90. So that is one. So will be very easy. Now this ijk is very important. So we have I vector, we have j. When we do I cross j, I get what? K here. When I do j cross k, I get I here. Clear? So this is the relation. I cross j, I get k. J cross k, I get I, and k cross I get j. That's it. If I do a reverse, I'll get a minus. So if I cross j is equal to k, so j cross I is equal to what? Minus k. That's it, simple. Okay, clear? Don't do any wrong. And I cross I is j cross j, and k cross k is what? A zero vector. We already discussed. Now, how to do a cross product? You can do it simply. I'll show it also. Now, the angle between two vectors we can also find by this using this method. Sine theta will be equal to, take one of the value, one vector, mod of A mod of B by mod of, sorry. Cut this one because we already know A vector cross B vector is equal to what? Mod of A mod of B into sine theta into n cap. So if I take mod of all of it, so what I'll get? Mod of A vector cross B vector by divided by mod of A mod of B, and that is equal to sine theta. Now what happened when I took mod of n? That vanished because it became 1. Okay, so we can use that formula. So just now same thing, A cross B is equal to minus times of B cross A, so it is not commutative, student. Understand? A cross B, what we do. So what is the change? If I do A vector cross B vector, this perpendicular direction changes. If it is for the top, and if I do B cross A, it will be going down. It will be just going down. Okay, that is the change that happens. Same thing they have shown here, one for the top and one for the down. Okay, so A cross B, when you're going, it was top, and B cross A, it is down. That's it. Now coming to the next part, I already told you I cross j is equal to k. So j cross I will be equal to what? Minus of k. That's it. Now, what is the what is the applications of this? Whenever we want to find the area of triangle is what? Half of A vector cross B vector, mod of A vector cross B vector. For a parallelogram, what will happen? It will be double. So not half will be removed, and it will be just A vector cross B vector. That's it. Okay, nothing more than that. Now, whenever we have cross and the distributive property, so A vector cross B plus C. So what we can do? We can open it up. A vector cross B vector plus A vector cross C vector. That's it. If you multiply some scalar value, so 2 times of A vector cross B vector can also be written as 2 times of A cross B can also be written as A vector cross 2 times of B. That's it. Same thing. Okay. Now, how do we do a cross product? Let's see. We have a question, but we won't do it by that way. I'll show you. Let's take a question. So we take A vector is equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k, and B vector is equal to 3i plus 2j plus 4k. So write it down in the determinant form: I, j, k, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4. So what will happen when I'll take this one, I'll leave that row, leave that column, same thing. So 3 into 4 is how much? 12 minus 2, 4 into 2, 8. So it will be I cap into 12 minus 4, 12 minus 8. So basically 4 I cap. Now for the second J1, it will be negative. Okay. So leave this row, leave this column. So 2, 3, 4, and what we took the value? 3, 2, 4. Correct. IJK. So leave this and this we have done. So for the J part, what I'll get is okay. Okay, don't worry. I'll do it with a white pencil only. Okay, it vanishes. So A vector is equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k, and B vector is equal to 3i plus 2j plus 4k. So when I do a cross product, IJK 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4. So for I, leave that row, leave that column. So what I'll get? I vector into 12 minus 8. Now j will be what? Minus j. Why? Because in determinant we learned second one minus I power. Correct. Leave that row, leave that column. So 8 minus 12 plus for k. Again leave that row, leave that column. 4 minus 9. So what have we got? 4 I cap plus plus 4 j cap and then minus 5k cap. That's it. Clear? Everybody got how to do the cross product. Okay, we have taken a value here also. Find the magnitude of the cross product of this. Very simple. Okay, so what we have to do? Let's see the solution here. So what I'll do? I'll use I, J, K. Put the value 2, 1, 3, 3, 5 minus 2. So for the first one, leave this row, leave this column. What I'll get? I cap into minus 2 minus 8 minus j into, leave this row, leave this column, minus 4 minus 9, leave this row, leave this column. Okay, so k cap into 10 minus 3. Correct. So what I'm getting? Minus 10 I cap plus 13 j cap. Oh, we did 15. That's why I thought why the values are differing. 15. So minus 17 I cap. Okay. Plus 13 j cap plus 7 k cap. Now this is my A vector cross B vector. Have they asked for that? No. They asked for the magnitude. The magnitude of this will be what? Square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So if you solve it, what you will get? I think so you'll get 17 square 289, 169 plus 49, 507. That is the answer. Okay. So pretty simple. So the whole concept of the vector algebra, they can brought it down to these few things. Very simple, nothing very difficult in this. Application to apply in the KCT questions we will show in the PYQ section. Very simple. The concept part and the formula you need to write it down in short so that you understand what is it and make your own notes. Okay, a lot of students they ask in the comment section to give the notes. See, notes is one thing that is to be made by you. Okay, so that you can write what is important for you, what is not important, what you can remember, what you can't remember. Okay, so very important, do make the short notes. Okay, like, share and subscribe the channel. Do spread it to your friends, whoever is in need of it. 15 days we'll be doing very soon live classes from 16th or 17th onwards, and it will be of around 4 to 8 hours. So do watch it. We'll revise each and everything again. So best of luck.